Well, howdy. Welcome to my indoor hydroponic garden for a small apartment. This is my kitchen garden, and it's all DWC, deep water culture, and things are moving right along here. I wanted to show you this tomato. It's starting to flower, and I did spread it out. I have a trellis net in here. I wanted to make sure I could support the fruit. Actually, this tomato is a bit disappointing. It's a bush variety, but it's only set tomatoes right on top. So the next time I'm going to go with an indeterminate variety. If you don't know the difference, a determinate variety grows like a bush like this, and it bears most of its fruit at the same time, whereas an indeterminate tomato grows tall and it's more like a vine, but it fruits over a much longer period of time, so you can constantly be harvesting fruit. These are really good for outside if you live in a fairly cool climate, because they'll mature faster, and also if you're canning or something like that, most of the crop will be ready at the same time. So that's the advantages of a determinate tomato. But for indoors, I think the next time I will go with an indeterminate variety. This is an early girl, and it's a bush early girl. Now, I've grown the indeterminate one, and it does get quite a bit taller, and I might try that next. But moving along, this is a cucumber, and it's a bush variety, and you can see it's just sent out its first runner. I'm going to train that along the trellis, so I'm kind of excited to see what that does. And over here, through the netting, we have a pepper plant. This is a bell pepper, and if you look real close, you can see that it has flowers on it. I'm probably going to pick those first flowers off to give the plant a chance to grow and get a little bit bigger. I mean, it would grow like that, but I think, trying to ripen those peppers at this point would tend to stunt the plant. Over here we have a bunch of Buttercrunch lettuce, and this one here on the end is just about ready to harvest. The others are a bit smaller. These plants were actually, there were 12 in here. 6 were leaf lettuce and 6 were the Buttercrunch. I already harvested all the leaf lettuce, and then I spread these plants out. And this is a 10-gallon tote, and I have holes cut in it, and I use 3-inch net pots in the holes, and you fill it up with water up to the bottom of the pots, and you put an air stone in it, and it's a great setup for lettuce. Doesn't take up too much space, and it's not too god-awful ugly either, because mostly what you're going to see is the large green tops. And the buckets, I don't think personally that they look that bad, but if you're into indoor decor, it's probably not the most attractive thing that you can have in your living room. It really just depends what you want to do. For me, this is a 2x4 space inside my kitchen, and I have a rack that's from this rack here is from an old grow tent I had, and I used it to hang my light. Now this is a Spider Farmer SF2000. Good light. You can light a 2x4 area. Again, it's not super attractive hanging here like that, but if you're going to grow indoors, you're going to need a light. Unless you have a balcony that gets like 6 hours of sunlight a day, you can grow with no light out there. But inside your apartment, the light levels are just not going to be bright enough to really get the kind of production that you want. I mean, vegetables, they grow outdoors, usually in full sun, so when you bring them in, if you bring it into your apartment, the light levels are a lot lower, and so you can't really get a good crop indoors without lighting. You can try it, but I think you'll be disappointed. I'd rather see you guys spend some money and buy a light and grow that way. So this is going along pretty good. I'm happy with it. And you know, I'll have tomatoes in a while, and then peppers and cucumbers, and I also have an AerGarden out in my living room, and that's a great one if you only have a small area. The AerGarden is great because it has a light already built in, and you can even fit it on a shelf as long as you've got about 2 feet of headroom. You know, it's small. I'll take a walk over there and show you mine. Okay, so this is my AerGarden, and this is a 6-pod unit, and I have pods that I just put in. I was growing herbs in here, but I decided for chili peppers, so I have 6 of them. You can't keep 6 in here. When they start growing, they'll get too big. Probably 2 or 3 is the max, and my plan for that was I was going to start them in here, and so I have 2 of each variety. There's a jalapeno, there's a, I think they call it a fiery red hot, and there's a round purple one that's supposed to be really hot. So these just went in yesterday. So and peppers can take a while to germinate, so you know, I'll update when I got something to show you. But I wanted to show you this unit because it's sitting here on a coffee table, and it's maybe 10 inches long and 6 inches wide, and the light is built in. It goes up, it goes down. I think on this one it goes up to about 16 inches. And if you're willing to prune them, you can grow peppers or even small patio tomatoes in one of these units. And this, it really doesn't look all that bad. You know, it's way more attractive than a bucket, you know, or a tote. But, you know, remember too, it'll have green on top, and that makes it even more attractive. So if you're short on space, this is an AerGarden, and it'll set you back maybe 90 bucks, somewhere around there. And it really works. You know, it's silent, and everything's on a timer. You get a little light that goes on when you need to add food. The light is set on a timer, and there's a little pump inside that keeps everything going, and it's on a timer. It runs, I think, like 5 minutes on every, I don't know, every hour, something like that. Doesn't use a lot of electricity, and it's silent, and I think it looks pretty good. So, you know, if you're really short on space, think about that. Otherwise, I really like the DWC. It's the best for big plants. If you want to grow smaller plants, lettuce is going to be the easiest thing to grow. And it also needs less light. I mean, tomatoes, are a high light crop. They probably need more light than anything else you'll grow indoors. So if you're gonna not have a lot of light, I'd say try lettuce. And you know, definitely you can do that on a balcony, and you might even get away with it, you know, near a sunny window. But I wouldn't expect the same harvest you would get if you had a good full spectrum LED over it. The one I have in there, like I said, is Spider Farmer SF2000. It cost about 300 bucks, so it's not cheap, but it'll light a 2x4 area. It uses 200 watts at the wall, and it'll last you for years. So if you think about it, you probably spend more than $300 a year buying vegetables. So I think, you know, it's worth the investment. You'll have it for a long time. And if you get tired of growing vegetables, you can grow house plants under it, or flowers. So that's my update for this week. And take care of yourself. Happy gardening, and keep it green.